Hello, and welcome to the Tutorial Toolbox. My name is Tobias, and this is Unity Game Development Episode 1. I promised you guys that I'd make two series, and this is one of them. This is the one where we are going to create a game from scratch. We're going to create a 2D platform game, and we are going to make it awesome. So what I've done is I've opened up Unity 5, created a new project, named it Unity Game Development, and made it a 2D project. You start off with a camera in orthographic projection. If you accidentally made a 3D project, don't worry, just change the projection from perspective to orthographic and click this 2D view button. Now, we need a couple of things. First of all, we need a light. Just gonna put this out of the way. There we go. And then we are going to need some art. I already have I made some folders here. We can see I have the scenes folder where I have this world, this scene saved, scripts folder that's empty, and I have two pieces of art right now. I have a platform and a player. These are pixel art, so when you import it, make sure to filter mode, point, and take off generate maps. Otherwise, it's going to be all blurry and fuzzy, and we don't want that. I'm going to make these available for download so you can use them, but they're really easy to make, so if I don't get around to putting it up for download, just throw something together in Paint. Doesn't really have to be anything, just, yeah. Alright, so we're gonna put this in our scene. Just gonna capitalize this. There we go. And this one as well. And we're gonna move this up just a bit. This is big as 0, and there we go. And now if we look at our camera, we can see it's very far away, so we are going to turn down the size to 1 so we can actually see our game objects. We need to add a couple of things for physics to apply, so we take our platform, add physics 2D box collider. That's it. For all our platforms, all we need is a box collider that equals the size. Of course, if we have something that's a ledge or something, we would use a polygon collider or something like that so it would fit. But yes. And our player needs a physics 2D rigid body 2D. We'll just tick on this fixed angle because I'll show you. Physics 2D circle collider. You might think that we are going to want to use a box collider, but if we use a box collider, what will happen is that if we have some kind of ledge or something, the collision and therefore the traversing of the terrain is going to be absolutely horrible to look at. So we're going to use this collider instead, and if we play the game, you can see we are slightly floating above the ground. So we're going to turn down the radius just a little bit more. So it's just one, let's say 1 pixel. It's not really 1 pixel, but a little bit inside, so we are perfectly on top of the platform. So we need to do that out here. The radius is 0.075 if you're using the same 16 by 16 square player that I am, with a pixel per unit of 100. So now we have our assets in the game, and we are ready to create a script that can make our player move. Create a new script, call it player. We are going to put the scripts in the scripts folder and open it up so we can change a bit. So one thing that you might notice when this actually wants to open up is that it gives two functions, the start function and the update function. When you want to when you want for something to happen once, you put in the start function and it's going to happen the second the object is enabled in the game. If you want something to happen over and over again, for example, movement, you're going to want to use the update function. But since we also have physics involved, there's a third option that they don't give to you as an example. It's called fixed update, and it takes into this consideration what happens with the physics, and therefore it is much more suitable to update movement uh, in the fixed update when we have also physics involved. You know you have physics involved when you have a rigid body on something. Um, First of all, what we're going to do, we are going to do a rigid body 2D, call it rigid. Let's just call it RB. Rigid body 2D. And actually in our start function, we're going to set that rigid body 2D to get component rigid body 2D. This was something that was done, I don't know if you could say done automatically early on in the previous versions, but I've been playing around with it and you're not able to just use the direct rigid body like you can do with the transform. There's already a public transform, but there isn't with the rigid body anymore, so we're going to have to do this in order to make our code a little bit cleaner. What we do in the fixed update is basically we take our rigid body 2D, change the velocity to a new vector 2, so 2D vector since we were working with 2D, and we set the x speed to be our input dot get axis horizontal and our y speed to be rigid body 2D dot velocity dot y to be the existing y velocity. So when we save this and we try to move around, we can move from left to right, and that's exactly what we want. So we now have the ability to move, and if we wanted to, we could do this input dot get axis vertical, and that should allow us to jump in a weird way because it'll just allow us to jump all the time by continuously pressing it, but we are able to move around. And let's see what time says. Why not? Let's do it. Let's revert back to what we had before. And let's say if input dot get key code dot space. So if we're pressing space, sorry, if we're pressing space, um, let's see. We only wanted to jump once, so let's see. Get key. I believe it's down. So we only want this to happen once. We do rigid body. Let's just take and copy this. We do this. We actually we should be able to, I think, just Let's just comment this out. We do rigid body 2D dot add force. Can we do that? Add force. We don't want anything on the zero. Oh right, we want transform dot up, and we want nothing else. Let's see if that doesn't work. No, it doesn't. Okay, it should. Let's see if we multiply by 100. Alright, so if we click, we can now jump. Of course, you can change the 100 to be a variable. Let's say jump height. We will up here make a float jump height equal to 100f. There we go. And of course, you could see if I press multiple times, then we are able to jump while in midair, and we can just fly off. We don't want that. We don't only want to be able to jump once. So what we can do is we can make a function. We have a little bit of time. We can make a function. Actually think there is a function, and we don't know it. I believe it's void on collision collider. Actually, no, I'm not sure. So we will just make this function that says can bool can jump. No, that's weird too. And can jump, and we set float. Oh no, bool can jump to be true. And we set can jump to be false. And then we have this void on collision. I'm not quite sure if this works, so let's just see collider. If call that call, there we go. If call that name, can we do that? Name is equal to platform, can jump is equal to true. And if I'm correct and the on collision is right, this should work. And if I'm wrong, $24 is this string. Oh, sorry. There we go. No, it's not the correct function, but we are running out of time, and next time I will show you that function. We'll make it right so we can only jump once and possibly in the future so we can double jump. But thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure getting back in the game. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, and post a comment on why you liked it, what you like, what you didn't like. If there was something you didn't like, please let me know so I can change it and make it better. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.